Good evening, friends. Welcome you all to this 25th episode of Wild Wild Slide Lounge. Sorry for a late start. I was just waiting for you to all join. Anyway, we'll start. And tonight I am very happy, delighted, and finding such a joy in my heart to invite one of my favorite musicians of this Gen X, this new generation, which has captured my attention, and it's such a I'm so I'm feeling so proud even, let's say I would use this word, because I have seen this musician, this artist grow from a very tender age and to reach such maturity in music genres that she is pursuing. This is really commendable and laudable and totally appreciable. I am very happy to invite this special guest, none other than Anandi Bhattacharya from Kolkata, daughter of illustrious, legendary Pandit Devashish Bhattacharya, and she has made already her own space in the musical world, the global musical world also, and she is, in fact, I would rather say that she is making waves in musical circuit through her virtuosity, her range of musicality. She's a tremendous vocalist, an amazing singer. She sings from her heart, and without saying much, I would rather invite her so that we can talk more about her in words and through her own words. I've sent you the request, Anandi. Hope you join. Yes, now I see
Hi.
you. Hello,
Hi.
Anandi. Yes, hi, hi, hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm just wondering, can people from my profile also see that I'm live with you? They can, right? Possibly.
Probably, possibly.
Yeah.
I think so. I think
So
so.
hopefully they will join in. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
my mom is here, so yeah, I can see it. All right. Thank you so much for having me and for saying all those amazingly kind things. That's very sweet, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, and you deserve more. And this is just a beginning. We are simply starting. So, when I first heard you in IIGF in 2016, I think, probably the first IIGF, which was organized by your father.
Yeah.
And I was so amazed and so dazzled to listen to you singing so many different genres and performing and doing announcements and organizing so many things at the same time. Tremendous for a girl to immediately take center stage, feel the responsibility musically and otherwise, and be there and like kind of hold the space for everyone, because it was a first venture of all of this kind, and it was a historical venture in terms of Indian slide guitar, I would say, because
Yeah.
so much was triggered after that in its own ways. The waves are still like pulsing. I mean, the ripples are still going far away, and it will go very far away all the time in the future, I'm sure, because it triggered a lot of things in different slide guitar players of the world, of India, and whoever had come in that festival. Not only them, but others also who were watching and who watched it later and who heard the news. And you were shining like a beautiful star, and I so loved that image of singing and participating and taking responsibilities. It was really, really from my heart, because I've seen you grow since long time. I was like swelled with pride. Wow, Anandi is doing here. Anandi has arrived. So do you also feel you have arrived, or you have long way to still go? I mean, we all have long way to, we'll never reach as such. But just, it's not a serious question. You can just answer in any way you
I mean,
like.
uh, you know, uh, I suppose I really did arrive uh, at the door of my father, my guru. That is the only arrival that really happened.
Matters.
Everything happened because of that. Because I arrived in his home as his daughter. That was the arrival for me.
Yes.
And it was just everything sort of happened so naturally in a way. I mean, I think you know, I didn't even know that I was going to be an artist, like, ever. I don't think I consciously ever remember. I mean, sometimes I think to myself, what would I have done if I were not born to my father? But yeah, I definitely have ways to go. We all do, but I remember IIGF. It was something. It was quite something. It was to have that role and to kind of feel like to be a part of one of the biggest movements that Baba initiated in Calcutta, and to bring all guitarists together. That was just such an incredible initiative, and that he deemed that I was, you know, that I was able to take on that responsibility did give rise to a massive sort of confidence and self-esteem in me, not only from the music point of view, but also from the organizational things and just like being out there talking to people. But you know, that was kind of there all through my life, because Baba always had one thing or the other going on, and I was on tour with him since I was only 12 years old. I think it was the first time that I felt that way in my own city in Calcutta, you know. And then at the age of 20, I remember I organized this show of John Butler and my father collaborating in Jadavpur University. Some odd 11,000 people arrived. You know, I think that was the culmination of that journey that he sort of like, you know, put forward. But yeah.
Great. Of course, it's a journey, we all know, and this is not about that. It's about also arriving at different platforms, different milestones, reaching on and off, and validate, because they are also validating. They also add to the, like you said, self-esteem of an artist, the confidence of an artist, because at every step he takes or she takes, there's something. Because we in the art are already in a hugely vulnerable space. As an artist, we need to be vulnerable. We need to be in that space inside, inner, which is already which is already subject to any external impact that one can have as an artist. So, in spite of that, and uh, even because of that, the artist or the musicians go further than they are just the job they are up to, the music and all. They also go a step further inside them, and then outside the world also it reaches at the same time, because the more we go in for that exploration, the more we go out as an manifestation of that exploration, because that exploration manifests in its outer um, um,
External
events.
realm.
Yes, yeah. So it works both ways, and we understand how it is for every musician. No matter the talent is not so important, the level of talent, because every musician in his heart kind of longs for something to be expressed, to sing his song, like they say in English. So whether the song is Grammy Award winner or simply sung on a kitchen table, it doesn't really matter as far as the inside of an artist or the soul of an artist is concerned. I mean, so this all contribute, but when we are in a professional journey as a musician, when we take on that step, and then we move on into that direction, groomed very well, if you have an illustrious legendary father like your Baba, then what more you can ask in that, in the syllabus state of
Yes. I
yeah.
mean, you know,
But
no matter what happened externally, I think I always had that pillar of support and that endless flow of knowledge. I think,
yeah.
I mean, that more than anything is something that makes and breaks individuals, right? Like lack of guidance, lack of love and loving guidance, something that I also encountered in certain other facets of my pursuit of Indian classical music when I was learning from another very incredible vocalist. There were certain things that did not click, and there were certain, issues that, manifested. But at the same time, I always knew in my heart that I do have this beautiful space of learning that I can always draw from. It may not be strictly, in the sphere of vocalizing and singing, but I never had any dearth of knowledge while all of these years. It was always like, even when he saw me making the mistakes that perhaps he didn't stop me. He was like, I know this the zid you have, you're stubborn, right? You want to do things on your own, do it and learn. And and so and the other thing being that, he's such a dear friend of mine now. He's my soulmate in so many ways. Our journeys are so similar yet different, but similar in terms of how we have externally faced difficulties, or how we have had trouble navigating certain work aspects, the politics in music, or finding ourselves wanting to do more than is expected of us, and then like sort of deviating from that and making a niche, like people telling us, hey, you shouldn't do that, and then we're both like, I'm going to do exactly that.
Yes.
So I think I definitely got that headstrong, like ox-like attitude. Like
You have.
who's going to stop me?
You have. I know that. I know that. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
it adds to the personal character touch, because we are all different and yet we are same, but the difference is also to be celebrated and accepted
definitely.
at all levels. Otherwise, then how we will accept or acknowledge that music that comes from that person? So if that inclusiveness is there, that acceptance is there, that open heart is there, and with your father, Dada, Baba, whoever, I'm huge respects, and I mean I cannot put in words how I am connected with him. Although we don't talk much regularly, but we know. Similarly, he really has that heart open wide whenever I see him play. The generosity of the musicality that flows through him. That
It's
is a
unique.
genuine,
It's
genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unique, and you don't find that innocence even of being.
Yeah.
I think there has to be like just an ocean of faith to be that way. To be that way in spite of so much. You have to have faith in giving in spite of whatever
Yes,
happens.
true, very true,
And
very true.
he's one of the prime examples in my life of somebody who has like
True.
been that same person with incredible consistency as long as I've known him, which is a good 25 years now. That's quarter of a century.
Yes.
and anybody who has been acquainted with my father, they have spoken of how much love that they have received in no small measure, and
Yes.
he's the least calculative person I know.
I totally agree. Totally
He's
agree.
so yeah, that
Totally
has
agree.
definitely, it sort of helped me believe that, no matter how much external problems you go through, it's not necessary that these things change you to a permanent effect. You must preserve that genuine openness and the you must hold on to those values
Yes.
of and faith and vulnerability, and because that is really true sense. I mean, the notion is that life hardens you. It's actually harder
Hmm.
to remain soft through life.
Hmm. Very
It's
true. Very
harder
true.
to remain somebody who is not completely boxed away from
Hmm.
created walls, and now I'm like I'm
Hmm.
shut in my own grief and hatred. It's easier to be that way. It's harder to
Hmm.
be a loving heart.
Hmm. That's a sign of a loving heart, that it takes all that is thrown at it and still keep itself open, because
Yeah,
that's a sign of a true heart. I mean, there are normal level of heartfulness that we see all around also, which is
I
like,
mean,
okay,
it's
if you are
hard.
not good,
It's hard.
I
I
will
mean, I
close.
can't I can't go into judgment here. It's hard. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just takes like a lot more strength, is what I would say. I mean,
yeah.
it's I wouldn't say like, okay, it's a but it takes a lot of strength, and he has that incredible sense of strength. And we come from a long family of tantra and like magic and spirituality, and if I've
Mhm.
received 2% of what he has, it's it's but I mean, the world is a hard place to be in now more than ever, and even before. I mean, when I go into these discussions with my father about the reality of our civilization, of our species, it's hard. It's like the need for money, this need for survival. It's like a carrot dangling in front of our nose, and then relentlessly running behind it. And it's hard to think about other aspects. It takes serious realignment of the mind and delving into, like, actually, like, I, for the last few months, few months, 2 months, I woke up every day and I said to myself, hey, my mind is my priority. The rest will align. But it took me that many years to say that and to bring it into a regular practice. So it
Mhm.
takes a lot of maturity, a lot of separation, and a lot of stillness within, and to commit to that. I'm just going to work on myself. I'm going to work on myself, my perspective, and I'm going to be somebody who prioritizes myself and my mind and my wellness above everything else. It's hard
Talking
to
about
say like no to the race like that, no? It's hard to say, no, I'm
yes.
not gonna run. I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna run anymore. I'm just going to do my thing. I'm not going to run in the rat race. Yeah. So
That's a that's a wise observation. Yes, very good. And talking about hearts, when we're talking about openness of heart, the vulnerability of heart that is required for a musician also. I mean, mostly. So when we see into the fraternity of, let us say, ICM in classical music, we see
can
a
of
lot of.
worms. The can of worms is being opened
I want
after
to,
this.
I
Yeah,
want to,
yeah,
because this is this is the time when we have to open our cupboards and take the skeletons out, no matter how bad or whatever it is. And it's not about blaming of anybody or anything or it's simply evaluation. It's an evaluation time, so we're doing it. It's
yeah.
an upgradation time. It's an upgradation time for all arts, not only ICM, but all arts, not only arts. I would say that even the health system, the government, how the governance is happening, how we are running the place, we call world our home. Is it our home really? And if it is, then how well are we doing? Let us evaluate that. Let's come to a table and sit
Definitely, definitely. I mean,
non-judgmentally and
yeah,
kind
yeah, yeah.
of
Totally
simply
agree.
open minds and hearts. What comes comes. It's not about any judgment anywhere. Not so.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
also talking about the ICM world, which is like we all know in this pandemic times, when the world is paused, still paused. So, and we were kind of forced in a way to look within or to introspect not only ourselves but the world where we operate in, the world where we move in professionally, or where we aspire to move in those arenas. So we all musicians, not only small portion of them, all have introspected in some way or the other. So if the musicians have introspected some way or the other, degrees may differ. So it means that music is also changed in that degree
Yeah,
of
music has
of
changed the relationships within the music fraternity, like
yeah.
evaluating relationships, all relationships. Let's look at all relationships. Let's look at relationships between peers who are perhaps guru bhais, guru bons, or let's look at the relationship between the teacher. Now look, obviously I made a distinction very early on, maybe at least 5 years ago, I think, in the early
Mhm.
20s. So when my album won those awards, it won the Songlines Music Award. It topped the Europe charts, and
Joys abound.
Joyce Band, that's right. And it also it won another award. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It it's everybody's perspective, and everybody was like, huh, okay, you know what I mean. So it's just that success will always change people's perspective about you, right?
It triggers a lot of things. Yes.
It triggers a lot of things, and it's like, you get noticed and everything. That's all great. Now, when that happened in that drastic a manner, I realized that the web of competition as it is in itself very cruel in the way that it's been laid out for years in the ICM fraternity. The lobbying between people of certain who will be like, okay, these five people are my friends, we're just gonna keep it to that.
Yes, we have groupies. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, that, and then अगर कोई शिष्य बहुत सालों से सीख रहा है, वो सिर्फ सीख के क्या गा रहा है या बजा रहा है उतना नहीं मैटर करता, जितना उसका सेवा मैटर करता है. आपने आपके गुरु के लिए क्या किया है, क्योंकि ये जो आप एनवलप लेके आ रहे हैं, सिर्फ पैसे दे रहे हैं ट्यूशन का, ये काफी नहीं है. लेकिन ये रियलाइजेशन जरूरी है कि आज के ज़माने में ये जो 2021 साल है अभी, या फिर आप पिछले 10 साल की बारे में अगर हम बात करें, तो ये वो 1900 के ज़माने का टाइम नहीं रहा. This is not the 1900s anymore. People don't have all day long to hang about and clean your homes, pay your bills. We need to move away from that toxic expectation. I'm going to use the word toxic because it's not relevant anymore. Nobody has the time. If A, B, C, D have to survive on their own, and if they have to make their careers and they have dreams, then you as a teacher should, in your own space, encourage them to grow, not say like, oh, sit down, give me time. Why can't you give me time? Why are you doing all of those things? Why do you not have time to give me? And time to give how? अगर कोई पूछे
Yeah,
तो
very true. Very
तो
true. That's what I.
वो समय आप जो वापस दे रहे हो, या फिर आपसे एक्सपेक्ट किया जा रहा है कि आप वापस दो, गुरु दक्षिणा के हिसाब से या किसी भी हिसाब से, तो वो समय में आप क्या कर रहे हो? आप उनके साथ बैठ के रियाज कर रहे हो, उनके कॉन्सर्ट के लिए कहीं पे दौड़ रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो? उससे तुम्हारा क्या फायदा हो रहा है? तुम क्या सीख रहे हो उससे? तुम्हारा रिलेशनशिप तुम्हारे गुरु के साथ उस वक्त किस किस मुकाम तक आया कि ये है सच्चाई? तो अगर हमें इस इस सच्चाई का पर्दाफाश करना है, तो ये सभी को समझना चाहिए कि अभी it's a globalized world now. We all know what's going on everywhere. We have interests. अगर कोई बच्चा चाहता है कि वो 5 चीजें करे, उनको सिखाओ 5 चीजें कैसे किया जाए जब 24 घंटे में, आप वो सिखाओ. आप ये मत कहो कि ये नहीं किया जा सकता, क्योंकि आप खुद नहीं कर पाए, इसलिए मत कहो कि ये नहीं किया जा सकता.
Very true.
लेकिन ऐसा मेरे साथ हुआ है, ऐसा बहुत लोगों के साथ हुआ है. और ये भी है कि क्योंकि मैं ऐसे बहुत सारे अलग अलग जॉनर्स गाती हूँ, तो लोग समझते हैं कि मैं सिर्फ राग संगीत शौक के लिए गाती हूँ, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है.
नहीं है, ऐसा तो बिल्कुल नहीं है.
और मेरा क्या संबंध है मेरे संगीत के साथ, ये सिर्फ मेरे भगवान, मेरे गुरु और मेरे बीच में है. अगर कोई 5 जन 5 चीजें कहना चाहे तो ठीक है, that doesn't matter, but that isn't true at the same time. और अगर कोई परफॉर्म कर सकती है 5 चीजें authentically and people like it, so then what's the trouble, my friend?
No trouble.
No,
No trouble
but then
whatsoever.
there is, you know, then there is. But then there is trouble, and the trouble is prejudice.
Yeah.
The trouble is prejudice because ये लोग सोचते हैं कि इन्होंने अपना सारा जिंदगी दे दिया. और मैं मान रही हूँ कि सारा जिंदगी देने के बाद भी, after you give your whole life to this, you will still be able to know only that much. But then what is the reality? The reality is that now life is so much faster. You know, when a child comes to me and says that, hey, I want to learn Western and Indian, and I'm like, sure, why not? But here's the timetable. You got to practice. But I don't say no, you can't do that, because I have done it. And I'm still doing it. And it's hard. It means that, you know, you have to work doubly hard. And I have an advantage because I've learned Indian music for the last 21 years. Very, very methodically from Baba. Even when I was learning from my guru before, she taught me incredibly well. And the content, I'm not going to talk about the method because that is harmful, but the content was gold. So I'm not saying it's hard, but I'm just saying it's possible if you want it to be.
Definitely.
And it's high time that the Indian music fraternity, they realize that the walls aren't closed anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the walls have been demolished. The walls are now ruins. They're fossilized.
Yes, true. Very true. Very well said.
Is coming up. The new generation is coming up with big collaborative ideas.
Yes.
With stronger in terms of like their peer-to-peer relationship is much better now.
Yes.
Everybody is very real. The competition is real. The friendship is real.
Yes, true.
Supportive and and they're growing old and they only have so many years left. I'm sorry. To be pulling the strings like puppeteers, it's not gonna happen.
I understand.
For very
totally
long,
true.
You know, and it's just that I have seen I've seen examples of people who are maybe 10-12 years older than me, who are also my peers, who have suffered, and their suffering has really rung true with me. Because आज अगर बच्चों और आजकल के बच्चों और इंडियन म्यूजिक में ये फासला है, तो इस कारण है ना. आज अगर कोई बच्ची मुझसे गाना सीखना चाहे अमेरिका में बैठ के, तो उसको अगर मैं सिखाऊंगी, तो I have to tell her, like I have to make her fall in love with this music.
Definitely.
लेकिन गुरुओं क्या बोलते हैं कि तुम कितना सफर कर, how much can you suffer for this music? That's the first question they ask.
this is old school generation, of course. And let me add one thing here, first of all, that our industry, music, ICM, in that context, almost all industry or music industries of the world, but in ICM, we're talking about ICM, let's say now. ICM is very unorganized sector, hugely unorganized sector. And when a sector is that unorganized, and so everything is totally unpredictable, and this unpredictability in professional terms brings so much insecurities in one. And because they know that their next bread is not so certain, their next meal maybe not, or later, blah blah blah. I'm just saying all this, but this insecurity filters down into many things. This insecurity filters down into the way they impart knowledge, the way they conduct their process of going about being a musician in all aspects of their uh, professionalism, let's say,
Yeah.
right from the personal to the moment they are on the stage. And uh, this this insecurity, now this is not vulnerability we are talking about, this is
No,
a
definitely
total
not.
insecurity,
Definitely
a professional insecurity.
not.
They are also not probably
And I'll just add one thing, sorry,
yeah,
before you
please,
continue, and that is that, I'm ready to suffer for the music, but I'm not ready to go through the toxic relationship. अगर हम रियाज पे बैठे, if I sit down to practice, सारेगामा जमा गरीमा सारेगामा गरीसा सारेगामा जमा गरीमा सारेगामा गरीसा, I already do this 10 times. By the 10th time, if I can't do it right in soul, I'm already feeling that, oh my god, I have to do this. So you know what I mean? Like, the pursuit of music is not easy in itself. And a person who truly loves music will put in those hours and that riyaz. उसमें है, वो साधना है, वो suffering नहीं है.
no, this
The
is old school
hardship
lingo.
to practice
I
is not
understand.
suffering, but like all
No.
this, like the shaming and the
I
fear,
understand.
inducing fear into a
Yes.
child. Like when the child suffers as they practice and they are like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not being able to do this, you as a teacher should be like, you will be able to, just keep going. You
Yes
reach that. So there has to be a balance of
I
this
understand.
completely. And without that balance, because see, sur easily किसी के पास नहीं आता. भगवान का सब कुछ दिया हुआ, सब कुछ हो
Also,
सकता है.
Anandi, sur is a cultural thing. Sur is not 440 kilohertz frequency.
Absolutely.
Sur is a cultural interpretation of that 440 kHz.
Yeah.
Sur differs. If you go to Middle East, their sa of 440 interpretation is different. If you go to Israel or Greece, their interpretation is different. If you go to America, of course, their interpretation is different. If you go to folk elements of world folk scene, their interpretation is hugely different. Then you go to very classified, classical, refined, higher, refined, highly refined musical arenas of any culture, of any place in the world. Their the perception will be a very different. Then it differs person to person, that is collective, and then personal also. So that is a different thing when we understand that. But like I was saying before, that of course the musical fraternity, since it is very organized, unorganized, and lot of insecurities are there, it's totally also understandable. Now they go by the older generations, they went by their own set of values, which was valid probably for their time, and which served maybe its purpose for them in whatever way, plus minus, good bad. They have to evaluate that within themselves, not us. We cannot judge what they went through and what happened in those times,
Absolutely.
and what was possible or not possible. So they did their best in their own way, and they understood things in their
I
own
would
way.
just still encourage them to adapt while they still can.
Yeah. Coming to
Because
the next.
yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Okay. Coming to this train of thought, I'm just saying
So,
that
so, so I promised some people that I would sing today. Do you think we can take a little musical break?
after this 10 seconds of my finishing of this,
Yeah. All right. We'll do it.
I'll give you enough time. Don't worry. There's no, because we already started a bit late, and you will
Yeah,
have good
no
time.
worries.
I
Yeah.
no problem, no problem. So, because of this insecurities of the professional in the professional arena, so everybody thinks first on their survivals. So when survival is the if survival is a priority, and that happens in art, which is a luxury, which comes very end. Like first you will look after your meals and the basic necessities, and then you will go for art, for a layman, for people who come to our concerts. They are, for them, you music is not a priority of that sort. But as a musician, this is our priority, and it is connected to the survival for whatever reasons, because no government or no even neither corporates of today will probably go into such deep depths of taking care of all these things. So the musician, so that generation operated from that mindset of fear, insecurity, what will happen tomorrow, and they wanted to be in good books with Maharajas and the whoever was supporting them in whatever way, and they wanted to like be good to them. So they have to like they also have lost their original voice, which was music in the first place, because they have to also play because their family is at stake, and the family is a big, and they have this and that going on, so much vested interests, how to fulfill all these things, then the ego, then the ambitions, and then they make an interesting Subway sandwich, you know. But anyway, we'll go on this. Let's go to the music now.
Yeah.
And so
And just to finish, it's just that I have seen my father adapt.
yeah,
I took his example one last time.
IIGF and all these
Yes,
endeavors
I'm
are,
just saying, like, but I've also seen him adapt as a person.
yes, true.
And I think everybody has the ability to, if they really truly want to, is all I'm going to say.
Yes,
Because conditioning तो सब में होता है, और वो
बिल्कुल.
circumstances जैसा होता है, सिर्फ पापा को नहीं, मैं बहुत और भी बहुत लोगों को, like Tanmay Bose ji, for example, Pandit Tanmay Bose, he's been a father figure, a mentor, an incredible teacher to me, but he's already showed me the ropes of this, and he's told me it's like this, but don't you worry, your intentions are right, you will arrive your way. I'm just saying there are many in this industry who have adapted and are still adapting every day. They're having to, because they want to keep up with the times. So I would say that, the desire has to be found within. And once that is found,
Definitely.
then yeah.
This is a
Okay,
personal choice, finally.
I believe that is. So I'll just sing this song that is really this one of my favorites, from this movie called Water. 2005 it released. How's the balance between the Tanpur and my voice? Is that okay?
I think it's okay, but sing more than I'll say. Tanpura can be a bit less, I think, in
Yeah?
fact.
Okay.
Yeah,
Better?
yeah.
नैना
वाह
नैना नैना नीर बहाए, मुझ बिरहन का दिल साजन संग,
वाह
मुझ बिरहन का दिल साजन संग, झूम झूम के गाए,
वाह
नैना नैना नीर बहाए।
ब्यूटीफुल
विष का प्याला काम आया, मीरा ने पी के दिखलाया, विष का प्याला काम आया, मीरा ने पी के दिखलाया, प्रेम तो है गंगा जैसी,
क्या बात
प्रेम तो है गंगा जैसी,
वाह
विष अमृत बन जाए, नैना नैना नीर बहाए, नैना नैना नीर
सुपर 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 एक और सॉन्ग इसी फ्लो में एक और सॉन्ग
इसी फ्लो में एक और सॉन्ग। ठीक है, तो अब मैं गाती हूँ, पेश करती हूँ। ये शायद से बागेश्वरी में बेस्ड है,
ओके
लेकिन ये है
इफ यू टर्न ऑफ द स्वर मंडल ना it won't affect much.
yeah, I'll just do that, or I'll just really reduce the volume.
Yes.
Okay, now so this song is a Nazrul Giti that I learned many years ago. অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, ওগো অন্তরজামী, অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, ওগো অন্তরজামী, বাহিরে বৃথায় যত খুঁজি পাই, বাহিরে বৃথায় যত খুঁজি পাই, পাই না তোমার আমি,
क्या बात
জামি, অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন,
क्या बात
অন্তরজামী, প্রাণের মতন আত্মার সম আমাতে আছো হে অন্তরতম, প্রাণের মতো আত্মার সম আমাতে আছো হে অন্তরতম, মন্দির রচি বিগ্রহ গড়ে দেখে হাসো তুমি স্বামী,
वाह
অন্তরজামী, অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন, ওগো অন্তরজামী, সমীরণ সম আলোর মতো দেশে রয়েছ ছড়ায়ে, গন্ধে কুসুমে সৌরভ সম, প্রাণে প্রাণে আছো জড়ায়ে। তুমি বহু রূপে, তুমি পরূপহীন, তব লীলা হেরি অন্তহীন। তব লুকোচুরি খেলা সহচরে, আমি যে দিবস জানি।
Wow.
অন্তরে তুমি আছো চিরদিন,
क्या बात।
জানি। Right.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Rag
Full of
Malgunji Mishra. Yeah, that's
Malgunji Mishra. Yes, Baba is saying.
Mishra Malgunji, yeah.
Okay. Super. This is what I like about Bangla music. Oh, they are all notes are like coming from some kind of honeybee nectar. Such sweetness. Such
This is a
sweetness.
Nazrul Giti also. He was one of the most incredible
Yeah.
writers. Like his use of harmony and his use of progressions and his entire, like the spectrum that he explored was just incomparable to any
Yes.
contemporary. Even I'd say, and this is controversial, but his usage of harmony was way more advanced than Tagore's, even at that time. And
Must be.
and the ornamentations and the incredible usage of these murkis and that subtle sort of like ornamentations there. It's just the most exquisite embroidery that of melody that was ever
Sweetness
found.
sweetness of mead, which is so characteristic of all Bengal music, I would say.
Oh yes.
Sweetness of music, slow sweetness of a mead. Like it's like dragged to its maximum stretch within that stretch.
I suppose the beauty of this is something that, you know, my fiance Shrinjay, who's here, he once said to me that there is the beauty of our land in Bengal. It perhaps even facilitates this ability to hear like more microtones, like and to really make it super slow transition, and does definitely supply to mithas jo hai gaane ka wo.
Mithas, yes, definitely. And since I am in Maharashtra for a long time, I have been listening to Marathi Natya Sangeet and other similar folkish kind of genres. But maestros like Pandit Jitendra Abhisheki and Vasantrao Deshpande ji, they have composed immensely beautiful rag-based songs full of harmonies, of way ahead of their times. They did such incredible, same like Kazi and Tagore Ji's have done. Not maybe the scale may be different, or my knowledge may be different.
But I'm sure it must have been very unique.
So raga, I mean, they bring out the beauty of raga in their own way. Marathas are like different strengths. They are not into slow mithas, but they are into fast, spicy. So their way of music is a bit different, but they bring out similarly the nuances and the beauty of raga music. Yes, definitely.
Maybe you should. Can you send me some links? I'll definitely hear.
I will definitely. I know some songs, but since they are in Marathi, I don't really understand the words. But still, the music is so
suppose
amazing.
You kind of felt the same way here. I mean, I'll just say the meaning of this very quickly. It basically talks about the Almighty and the all-knowing virtue of His, that, you know, He is truly, you know, transcendent, and he knows what resides within us at all times. And we end up making
And
these idols, right? And we make these places our place of worship, but he's truly not in the outside, he's truly within. And this is what the song really gets at, many different beautiful lyrical ways. And yeah, it's a very
Baba is saying, what
uplifting.
about Rajasthan?
What about Rajasthan? What about Rajasthan? In fact, if we're talking about folk, I would love to sing a folk song that my
Yes,
father
please.
composed.
Beautiful. Yes, 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 please.
Whoa, what is that? I have to
Metronome.
make that. I'm so
Ay
glad
tabla,
this is
bro.
not happening on stage, because when this happens on stage, it feels so silly. This is actually a part of. This is there in my album. This is written by my father, and it's part of the Joys Above.
Which album, Anandi? Which album? Is
Joys
it
Above.
available?
Joys Above. Joys Above.
Okay. Beautiful. Wow.
Zale khate sikan kala sala yadi nodi kun sala de. Zale khate sikan kala sala yadi nodi kun sala de. Antare more tushera gu. Antare more tushera gu. Dhiki dhiki zale de.
Wow.
Kanhar bashi digun baze re praner majhe
Wow.
moner majhe kanhar bashi digun baze re praner majhe কানহার বাঁশি দ্বিগুণ বাজে প্রাণের মাঝে মনের মাঝে ঢাকা দিয়া বাঁশি আমার ঢাকা দিয়া বাঁশি আমার বারে বারে যায় চলে শৈল
Wow. Wow.
The instrumentation of this song is even more incredible.
Amazing, yeah. This is it a like traditional song being like
No, this is written by him.
Oh my God!
This is
wow, this is
composed
what I
and
wanted.
written by him.
Super, super. And he paints and draws also so amazingly, like all his instruments designed from everything, even the writing, handwriting. I remember I
Oh
have
my God.
letters written from him
You
in
know, I
1982.
have journals, like my
हाँ
diary, ठीक है, ये जो डायरी है मेरा, पापा के
हाँ
पास ये सेम डायरी है, ये मॉरिशस से हम दोनों को गिफ्ट मिला था,
हाँ
कॉन्सर्ट, वो जो देते हैं ना वो भेंट.
हाँ
So, like his diary looks like something else, and you know, after that when I look
हम्म,
at my diary, it's so dirty and disorganized. पापा इतना मतलब everything about him is so like collected, you know, like his art
हम्म.
is so collected. It's
Yes, yes,
incredible.
yes. I know that. I know. Even his in handwriting. I didn't know that he writes also such like
My
proses and
entire album Joy's Abound is
uh,
written by him. It's,
wow.
you know, we arranged
Produced
some of
by him
the things,
also.
produced by him, written by him, composed by him. I co-arranged some things, very lovely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Simply incredible. Great. So here we are, um, Anandi, not only in this session, but also in this point of life. And like we see life, which is unfolding or folding. We don't really know now what is happening, whether
Very
life is unfolding or
true.
folding itself, which way. But anyway, we are here. And how do you see music going from now? Like, we all like talked about earlier that musicians are going under a change. The degrees may vary, of course, and the level of understanding or misunderstanding may vary, but uh, we have all gone through certain kind of change, certain change. So how do you see music going? How do you see the music means, let's say, the music industry, like how it will work now, probably in your opinion, because you have traveled a lot worldwide and you have seen different places, different countries, where music industry is different, music is organized different, music is presented different. So, what would be your take on this?
Um, so first of all, I'd like to say and bring to attention how the Indian government had nothing for us as artists,
Totally agree.
right? So we received no fallback, we received
Nothing.
nothing. We received
Not even
nothing.
an acknowledgement of the situation.
Not even that much. Not even like हाँ हम देख रहे हैं कि सच में हम कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. वो तो खैर इस गवर्नमेंट से एक्सपेक्ट करना ही गलत है.
करना भी गलत है.
लेकिन हाँ लेकिन ये हम we are all, I mean, your audience, my audience combined here, those all listening or anybody who views this later. I mean, most of us were very self-made. We
Yeah,
we are not mainstream Bollywood
yeah.
artists. I mean, nothing against them again. We're in our own schemes, right? And
Hmm.
what really comes to mind is जो हमें पहले करना पड़ा, like the whole build up, वो फिर से करना पड़ा.
Hmm. Hmm. That is true. That is true.
सबको less or more,
Sabko,
because
sabko. All
the
are at the start
entire
line now.
web
Yeah.
the entire web has been compromised, and that
Yeah.
includes so many
True.
levels, whether it's
Hmm.
the guy who fixed your spotlight or the booker who got you the gig or the venue which has closed down permanently. So now I
Totally
would
agree.
say I would say I'm sure the international community are going to be kind to us traveling musicians and hopefully rebuild that. सच इंडिया का मुझे सचमुच मालूम नहीं. मैंने यहाँ पे उतने परफॉर्मेंसेस किए नहीं हैं जो कि मैं इस बारे में बता सकूं. ये मैं आपको खुल के बोल रही हूँ. लेकिन ये जो अगर गवर्नमेंट ही हमें सेफ्टी नेट नहीं दे पाए इस समय से गुजरने के लिए, कुछ भी नहीं दे पाए, तो what is our future really? Like, I have to really ask myself. And also the platform changing. I hesitate to perform live anymore because, I want to leave something for the time that I do get on stage again, whenever that.
Very true. Very
Because
true.
no matter how advanced music videos even got back in the day, what
Hmm.
happened, there was always something incredibly special. And I believe the desire for performance, like attending live performances, will shoot up once this is done. The reluctance of going to concerts after having this sabbatical of not being able to watch anybody live, I think there will be massive interest in watching music live,
Yeah,
and
people are hungry for it. Yes, yes,
people
yes.
are hungry for it. I believe that, but I believe that there is also the requirement of a safety net, a newer approach. Let's
I understand totally.
let's really look at a new way of, let's transmute from here on.
Yes,
Let's
yes, totally.
truly transmute from here on and create a very new world of music together, is
Yes,
all I believe. Let's
very
create
good.
a new world because, all the things that we have taken for granted, they've all gone up in smoke now.
Yes, yes.
Everybody's sabka worth, everybody's value has been handed to them by the universe straight up, and the struggle is real. And I believe this will hopefully bring back authenticity, bring back integrity and honesty, inclusion. So important, inclusion. And nobody's happy isolated anymore. Let's say
Yes, 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 yes.
nobody's, even if they're like super comfortable in their alishan bangla and what have you, sabko, they are all wanting to connect. We're social animals. We're wanting to connect, reconnect. So I hope here on we build something, because clearly we are not getting anything from our government.
No.
So, which is not the case for international countries.
Yes.
Everybody in, say, Germany or New Zealand or
Yes,
America,
yes.
everybody is
They are
really
taken care of. Yes,
receiving
yes.
relief funds, and we have nothing. And I don't
Yes.
know. I hope the who's and who's of of this industry will speak up about it.
Yeah,
I really want that to happen, because ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हम लोग टैक्स पेइंग सिटीजन्स नहीं है, है ना? अगर मैं अमेरिका में परफॉर्म करती हूँ, वहां टैक्स देती हूँ, घर आके टैक्स देती हूँ, फिर जो बचता है वो मेरा हुआ। मैं दो कंट्रीज में टैक्स देती हूँ, वहां भी और यहाँ भी। और यहाँ पे मुझे क्या मिला? कुछ नहीं। तो ये जो बात है, ये I hope people make a noise about it, because it's shocking. And given how much the music industry in itself also gives back to the government, I'm sure like there's some mega equation happening there,
Yes.
Wow, okay,
I
good.
would. Yeah. I would propose here something on this platform, which is just spontaneously coming through me. That elders of ICM. That if we're just talking about ICM right now, I mean, not because music is a vast thing to. But okay, ICM. Let's say with ICM, the elders of ICM now should connect and form some kind of a front or a forum where
An
they
artist
first of
union.
all, yeah, elders, I would say let's start with elders first. Let them first take more, because they are more eligible for their experience and for their understanding of whatever it is. And so let I mean, it can happen simultaneously also in many levels, but let's say anybody, okay. But first elders must form a kind of forum, and first they talk between themselves the whole situation, and they come to some kind of LCM and the HCF of the whole talks, that okay, this is our thing, and we are concerned about the fraternity really much, because it's not about just us and our survival, it's the survival of the art too, because the musicians are not the caliber of those musicians are not there, how the art will survive in the first place? And art is a healing force. Let's not forget this. In these
Yeah,
troubled times when we are
everybody
subjected to
has
all
resort
kinds
to
of
art.
health hazards, now the music is also considered a hugely favored means and mediums of all kinds of health, mental, emotional, physical. And so if it is such a basic and very important part of our survival as a race, as a humanity, so at least the elders of these arts, because in the beginning music was an healing art and a spiritual expression of those early people who first connected with their souls and their higher selves, and then the music developed, and then it refined more itself into finer and more classical arts. That is also true. But so elders of ICM, which they can like constitute, form a kind of forum, a kind of group, or some kind of like you said, organization. Not, I mean, I don't know how it will work. It's just an idea which just spontaneously came up, that okay, they should first also connect and their own level, talk between themselves. What is the situation? What best we can do to support and leave aside our own petty things for now. Let us say whatever it was, and let's look at the bigger picture, the highest good of all involved, because it is the juice, the essence of humanity is here in the music of our cultures. So let's preserve that and present it in a more better way, that it is available in healing way. It's available in uplifting ways. It's available in more positive ways, creative ways, so that people are engaged creatively.
I just have another point to mention. That
Definitely.
it has to, relief has to come in uniformly to all artists. It can't come to those who are already okay, you know what I mean? Like, which is why a government initiative to provide funds, to provide relief funds, which involves looking at the artist's bank statements and then giving back to him in proper measure what he needs. So I looked at these funds in America, some of them which artists like Nora Jones and many others are endorsing. They're performing for free, and all that fund is getting redistributed to artists who need it. The first thing they ask for is your bank statement.
Mhm.
We don't want it to be like, okay, an unfair distribution of wealth.
Yeah,
Again,
that's true.
we need to know, like, it's not about talent. It's not about how incredibly famous you are or how important you are, but that you are important to the community because you are a part of it. You may be a
Mhm.
17-year-old who has been orphaned during this pandemic, and you may be struggling to make ends meet, let alone practice. You are the one who
Mhm.
needs the most amount of help.
Definitely.
So, to have a proper and fair assessment of a person's economic condition and to actually give them back what they need to survive, to see through, and it can't be a paltry sum that finishes. It has to be and I believe this government has the money to do it, because
Definitely.
fundraisers will only do that much, and how many fundraisers can you really do?
Can you do? Yes, true. Very true. Very
So
true.
we are all benevolently doing our bit to support the community, and I will do it as my father does it relentlessly, as many times as it takes. But it's not, I cannot really look at bank statements. I can't really know what's going on. This is not my job. I'm an
That's a
artist.
government
I'm
job.
also
That's a government job.
an artist.
That's an administrative job. Yes.
This is an administrative job.
Yes, very true.
And all schools and universities are closed, or like
Mm.
they're happening online
Half.
in
Yeah, yeah.
we don't even get concession. आज अगर
Mm.
मैं X amount of पैसा स्कूल में जाके पढ़ने के लिए देती हूँ, तो मुझे वही सेटअप घर में खरीद के अरेंज कराने के लिए मुझे 50 से 1 लाख तक का भी छूट नहीं मिलता। लेकिन ऐसा प्रोविजंस बाकी सारे कंट्रीज में है, फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड कंट्री मोस्टली, सैडली।
Yes. Yeah.
और पैसा हमारे पास भी है as a nation, but we don't, what's the thing? So I mean, the future is that the art community of this country needs like solid help. It needs funds. It can be a corporate initiative. It can, if the government doesn't want to, I hope some of these bigger MNCs who have their roots in this country step up. Because whether it's HCL, whether it's a solar company, I mean, all the corporate gigs happen there with the big bucks, अगर अवार्ड फंक्शन है तो आप किसे बुलाते हो? आर्टिस्ट्स को, है ना? अवार्ड्स प्रेजेंट करना होता है किसी भी कल्चरल फंक्शन में, सारे कंपनीज का they have this thing, like you have to present cultural things and stuff. It's in one of their
HR budgets. They have their HR budgets.
Yeah. They are particularly assigned for the same.
Yes, true.
So you can't do that without the artists. So I hope they step up and fund a much needed help, because I mean, if it's another year, Amano ji, then it's going to be so tough.
So difficult. Yes, true. Very true. Very
true.
We are all on our edges. We are all on edges.
Very hanging on edges.
Yes.
And we still have the means. You and I, we're not dying of hunger, but there's a class of artists who are, and there are brilliant possibilities within those people, and it's no short of a genocide to not provide funds.
Definitely. That's what I was saying, that if some kind of forum is created, and then they can trigger their tweets or whatever and blah blah blah, and create an public awareness about it. That has to be.
It has to be a coordinated movement.
Movement. So I don't know. Baba said, yeah, this is not probably the reality, but I mean, of course, we need. We are just.
Yeah, we are just. No. I hear you, but I mean, I'm just saying that, it's nice to have these discussions, because.
At least we have such kind of discussions. Yeah.
It is important to have this kind of a discussion, because, true, we need the lobbyists. We need them now, truly, more than ever. And it's funny because they could easily not care.
I too. They can always, they have.
The other cool side of it. That's the.
They have their own survival at stake. They have their own survival at stake.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, whether they like to believe it, at least. So
who knows what that spectrum is all about, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a massively painful situation all around, and I mean, by the grace of God, I hope that the endeavors that we are all taking as individuals to do our bit is still pooling up to be an amount that is still doing considerable, making a considerable difference in the community. I hope that it's happening. I know my father is doing it every 2 months now, as he did before every month, and it's sad.
But artists, musicians, how much they can do from their home space.
I know. I'm just saying we're not going to stop any soon. I know a lot of others aren't stopping any soon, because there is also artists relief communities that artists themselves have put up. No way.
Oh.
Head of Sarkar was approached by African group heads.
I know that. What are you saying?
What is taiko drum?
Taiko, a Japanese drum that was.
It's a Japanese drum.
You ask him later.
I will. So yeah, it's not going to be easy for sure.
Of course,
And
it's not going to be
you know
easy,
what's
but
happening in countries like Europe? In countries
hmm,
like Europe, the government is giving grants to
hmm,
artists
hmm,
or projects that can help rebuild venues
hmm,
and help pull in back audience. So these
hmm,
grants will not only help the artists but also the venues.
hmm.
I'm just appalled as to why this country can't do the same. I have no explanation for it. I only
No.
have disappointment in my heart,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah. True. Very
it.
true. Very, very. Totally agree.
And
I
this is
totally agree.
such a smart initiative, right? To
Hmm,
not
hmm.
only to not only give grants to the artists but also the venues so they can pull back up, and in it's such a far-sighted movement. So the next group of artists who come through will also have the opportunity to continue performing at that venue.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
I
I
mean,
think such. Yeah, yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
We don't
We
really have the
understand.
water full as because this country doesn't have an artists union to begin with. That's another.
Hmm.
We don't
मस्ट
have
हैव ये
an
कुछ करना
artist
चाहिए, ये कुछ
union.
करना चाहिए इस बारे में 100%.
सच में
लोगों
करना
को
चाहिए.
मिलके
बहुत करना
लोगों को
चाहिए.
मिलके जो
जितना हो पाए.
elders हैं, that's what I'm saying, elders should come together in whatever way they deem good, best. क्या होगा कैसे होगा ये नहीं मैं कह रहा, लेकिन कुछ तो भी यहाँ पे करके एक इनिशिएटिव क्रिएट करके और एक पब्लिक अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करके ऑन ऑल लेवल्स, डिजिटल एंड दिस एंड दैट, बिकॉज आजकल यही चलता है. दिस इज हाउ यू रेज योर वॉइस नाउ थ्रू
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स,
You
सोशल
tell
मीडिया.
you tell 5, 6, 10 people this is what needs to be done, and then it's just that what are those 5 or 6 to 7 people's vested interest in this and whether they will do it. That's the real question here. Otherwise, this
अगर
is not something that is impossible at all. I don't believe it
या
to,
या
because
या या
an organized movement, as far as I'm concerned, only needs collective intention. Right?
यस
You only need collective
यस
intention for it. So that, if that's there, then it should not be an issue. But if that's not there, then it's going to take us years to revive this back. And the thing is, the third wave is still underway, and we don't know. We barely know if things
it
can
may
go back.
surface any time now, it may surface any time. Yeah. True.
So
Very true. Very true.
just got to hang on tight for this new wave to come and keep our marbles in their places, keep sane, and अभी तो मिलना भी मुश्किल है किसी से. अभी ये
बिल्कुल.
बातें फोन पे उतना मायने नहीं रखता. अभी मिलना भी मुश्किल है. ऐसा कुछ इतना बड़ा कुछ ऑर्गेनाइज करना, सब everybody is having to be very careful. All peoples of every like they're all having to hold it together, stay at home, stay put, and not.
Yes. Very true. Great, Anandi. It was such a valuable discussion and such
Very
a
much.
nice. These things need to be talked aloud without being in the fear of being politically correct or incorrect and this and
For
that.
sure, for
And
sure, for sure.
because this is simply we are speaking our mind out. We need not be. I mean, my suggestions or something may not be best true or best or whatever it is. We are just sharing the
No,
concern. We are just
absolutely,
sharing the.
absolutely. And I think as time goes ahead, a lot of people are already talking about it, because where there is limitation and when there is lack of adaptation, conflicts will rise, because the energies are constantly in flux and they are not meeting and converging in a way that leads to true growth. And Indian classical music, in my belief, it needs it now more than ever. Children
Yeah.
will benefit from connecting. Now more than ever. एक
Now
सा
more than ever.
किसी
True.
भी राग का सा से ग तक, ग से प तक जाने के रास्ते में खो के कोई अपना शांति वापस पा सकता है.
Yes, very true. Very wild.
लेकिन
Yeah.
अभी इन बच्चों को समझाने के लिए वैसे लोग चाहिए जो प्यार से सिखाएंगे, क्योंकि जो फासला बन चुका है वो भरने के लिए एक बहुत ही बड़ा मूवमेंट की जरूरत है. एंड यू नो, आई सी सो मेनी ऑफ माय कंटेम्पररीज truly realize that in their hearts. They truly do. Whether it's
Right.
whether it's the son of other celebrities and their children who are phenomenal musicians, they are very much aware of this, and they hold true to themselves what has been taught to them by their parents, and they will effectively pass it on. So I believe that there will be a change coming in the next decade that will hopefully, you know, close this void, and you know, that our generation can hold a hand out to the next, and we can, you know, basically take
जैसे
off from where it
जैसे
was
वायरस की जैसे वायरस की वेव्स ये आ रही हैं, वैसे ही इसकी पॉजिटिविटी और होप और न्यू उसकी क्रिएटिविटी की भी वेव्स आ रही हैं. दे आर आल्सो, क्योंकि वो कभी भी लाइफ में अकेला एक चीज नहीं आती है. एक डुअलिटी की दोनों पोल्स एक साथ आते हैं. अगर डिस्ट्रक्शन आया है तो क्रिएटिविटी का बूम भी बहुत जल्दी आएगा.
I hope so.
So I hope so. Let's wind up on this good, hopey
Absolutely.
note.
Hope. Let's do that. Thank you so much for having me, Amanuji. It's been a real pleasure.
दादा कह रहे हैं कि कोई दादरा गाओ और मैं अकम्पनी करूंगा. Do you want, or we can simply wind up?
I'd love
आज
to
अपना
listen to you. I'm going to get out.
me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll play something really healing and meditative for the
Very nice.
whatever comes, not about raga, but just about the.
Yeah.